What happens when a beloved childhood classic becomes the internet's favorite punching bag? Disney's live-action Snow White has gone from hyped remake to possibly the most hated film in recent memory. The 1937 original wasn't just any Disney movie, it was Walt Disney's baby, the first ever feature-length cartoon that changed movies forever. But the 2025 remake? Total disaster. We're talking social media meltdowns, empty theaters, and one PR nightmare after another. For years, Disney has been cashing in on nostalgia with these live-action remakes. Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Lion King all made bank despite the haters. So what made Snow White different? Here is the truth about how Disney and its star Rachel Zegler managed to destroy one of the most beloved stories of all time. It all started with the casting. When Disney announced that Rachel Zegler, a Latina actress, would play Snow White, the internet went wild. The character's name literally means her skin is white as snow. That's her whole deal.
When am I not crying in public? It's so upsetting.
Why were you crying?
Oh my gosh, I saw we didn't even see, but I saw the logo and I went, that's my name, Snow White's up there, and I cried my eyes out.
Zegler's first tweet about it was super defensive. Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role. She deleted it fast, but screenshots live forever online. So, who even is Rachel Zegler? Just a few years ago, she was a regular high school kid who sent in a self-tape for Spielberg's West Side Story remake. Out of 30,000 people, this complete nobody with zero Hollywood experience scored the lead role of Maria and even took home a Golden Globe.
Rachel Zegler!
Twitter detectives called her an industry plant, but others thought it was refreshing to see someone who wasn't a Nepo baby for once. Either way, the Snow White casting turned her into Twitter's main character. While there were definitely some racist trolls in the mix, most fans were just confused by Disney's choice. Disney tried damage control, saying that in their version, Snow White got her name from surviving a snowstorm as a baby, a weak excuse that nobody bought. This might have blown over if not for what happened next, when Zegler started trash-talking the very movie she was supposed to be remaking. Instead of showing some respect for the classic that was making her rich and famous, Zegler started saying things that had Disney fans ready to riot. In a now infamous Variety interview, she announced,
"Saved by the prince."
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Then came the eye roll heard around the internet when she dismissed the original love story.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Her sarcastic tone broke Disney stans on Twitter. This wasn't just any Disney film she was dragging. It was Walt Disney's masterpiece. The way she said,
Weird.
while rolling her eyes became an instant meme, with people using it to mock what seemed like pure wokeness. The flip-flopping was next level too. Zegler claimed
I was scared of the original cartoon.
and only watched it once, but then fans dug up childhood photos of her dressed as Snow White and raving about how much she loved the character. Her hot takes didn't stop there. When asked why she joined Shazam, Fury of the Gods, her blunt response was just, "I needed a job." And to make things worse, during the writer's strike, she complained about pay.
I needed a job. I'm being so serious. Say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
One viral comment summed up what everyone was thinking. Rachel Zegler, incidentally, comes across as being about as appealing as anal cancer. She's arrogant, patronizing, condescending, and whines. She seems like a spoiled brat. While Zegler was busy creating a PR dumpster fire, Disney was making another decision that would have fans hitting the unfollow button faster than you can say hi-ho.
Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho.
Just when you thought this situation couldn't get more embarrassing, what Disney did next left industry insiders speechless. And it all started with a rich, famous dwarf. After actor Peter Dinklage criticized the portrayal of dwarfs in the remake of Snow White, Disney completely panicked. Their genius solution? Replace the dwarfs with magical creatures of various sizes and genders. to be later replaced by CGI-looking dwarfs that looked so bad they could have been from a PlayStation 2 game. The irony was next level. In trying to be all progressive and inclusive, Disney actually eliminated 7 roles that could have gone to actors with dwarfism. The Little People community was so mad, they reportedly started planning a class action lawsuit. One actor, who is 3 feet 8 inches tall, went viral saying,
I mean, my biggest thing is he wants to be progressive, and it's all about progression, and I support that completely. But the issue is him being progressive is eliminating 7 potential dream jobs from the dwarf acting community.
When set photos leaked showing these bizarre-looking characters, Disney claimed they weren't final images. Yeah, right. The finished product was even worse. Pure nightmare fuel that didn't look anything like the cute dwarfs we grew up with. With the movie already becoming a Twitter main event, all eyes were on the trailer drop to see if Disney could possibly save this sinking ship. When the official trailer finally dropped, it was game over. Despite a massive $250+ million budget, the movie looked cheap. The CGI was giving straight to DVD energy, the colors were dull, and everything looked fake. What happened to live action? This was basically just another cartoon, but worse. The trailer broke records for dislikes. Comment sections across YouTube and TikTok filled with people swearing they wouldn't watch it with a gun to their head. Disney's PR team tried to spin it as reimagined for a new generation, but the damage was done. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, there was even more tea brewing. What happened next wasn't just bad publicity, it was a chain reaction that nobody saw coming. The situation was about to escalate in ways that even Disney executives couldn't have predicted, taking this disaster from bad to full-blown meltdown. The vibes between Zegler and co-star Gal Gadot were ice cold. Body language experts on TikTok had a field day with the press tour clips. Gadot would look at Zegler when she spoke, but Zegler kept looking away when Gadot was talking. Super awkward compilation videos racked up millions of views. Things exploded when Zegler used the film's trailer release to make a political statement that many saw as a direct shot at Israeli-born Gadot. With Gadot being openly supportive of Israel after the October 7th Hamas attack, the situation got so messy that Disney reportedly had to hire security for Gadot because of death threats. Disney producer Mark Platt literally flew across the country to have a crisis meeting with Zegler. His son later spilt the tea on social media, calling out Zegler's narcissism and pointing out that tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires. Zegler kept posting spicy political takes. After the 2024 election, she claimed the results would create a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in. Plot twist, she doesn't have a daughter. She even wrote, "May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." Zegler ended the statement writing, "F Donald Trump." Conservative media went nuclear, with commentators pointing out that Gina Carano got canceled from The Mandalorian for way less controversial posts.
Oh, Disney, you're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for far less than this nonsense.
Disney finally stepped in, making Zegler delete her posts and assigning her a social media babysitter. But for many potential viewers, the damage was already done. What should have been just another princess movie had become completely toxic, the kiss of death for a family film. When Snow White finally hit theaters on March 21st, 2025, it flopped harder than a fish on deck. Despite its eye-watering $250 to $300 million budget, the film made just $87.3 million opening weekend worldwide, a 70% loss that puts it in Disney's Hall of Shame. Theater employees and fans posted videos on TikTok showing completely empty screenings. The memes were brutal, and to make things worse, Rachel Zegler seemed to enjoy it. The film's failure seemed almost planned out in advance. Way back in October 2023, over a year before the movie came out, South Park had already made fun of Disney with their episode Joining the Panderverse. In the episode that seemed to see the future, Cartman has bad dreams about loved characters being replaced by diverse women who complain about the patriarchy. The show made fun of a Kathleen Kennedy character who says things like, "Put another gay diverse woman in it, make it more fucking lame," while Disney stock just keeps going down and down. When Snow White bombed, fans quickly remembered the South Park episode. Social media was full of South Park was right memes and clips. The episode went viral again as viewers saw that what seemed like over-the-top jokes had basically predicted the Snow White disaster perfectly. Disney executives had reportedly been sweating for months, but they didn't even see this disaster coming. Unlike The Little Mermaid, which had a rough start but recovered thanks to good word of mouth, Snow White got such brutal reviews that there was no comeback story. Parents who did take their kids reported the little ones being scared of the creepy CGI dwarfs and bored by all the preachy girl boss storylines. Many families were spotted leaving theaters mid-movie and demanding refunds. The reviews were absolutely savage. The film scored a shocking 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb and 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, putting it below even notorious disasters like the live-action Dragon Ball Evolution, which until now was the internet's go-to example of a terrible adaptation. The memes comparing the two were everywhere. One review that went viral called it, "This movie makes no sense. It is a complete disaster. My 5-year-old was so upset because the cartoon she watched did not look the same in the film. Disney did not work on the script, horrible actor selection, and extremely poor CGI. This movie has everything wrong with modern cinema." Another critic wrote, "Is yet another misguided attempt to modernize a classic, but instead of breathing new life into the fairy tale, it strips away everything that made the original special. With uninspired performances, weak visuals, and forgettable music, this film serves as a prime example of why not every animated masterpiece needs a live-action remake." The film flopped so hard that everyone in Hollywood started asking the same question: how did one of the biggest studios on the planet mess up this badly? While Zegler can actually sing and act, her off-screen behavior absolutely hurt the film. Her eye-rolling at the original classic, her constant political hot takes, her obvious beef with her co-star, and her total inability to read the room all contributed to the disaster. Her response to the box office bomb was the final cringe moment. Instead of showing any self-awareness, she compared herself to a famous broken statue.
"And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her."
This main character energy confirmed what everyone suspected, that she saw this movie as her personal platform rather than a beautiful classic she was lucky to be part of. Disney deserves just as much blame for this nightmare. They ignored Walt Disney's direct wishes that Snow White never be remade. They approved a script that completely changed what fans loved about the original. They created horrifying CGI dwarfs instead of hiring actual dwarfs. They let the movie become a political battleground. And most importantly, they forgot that fans actually love these classics and don't want them completely changed. Looking back at this perfect storm of bad decisions, it's clear that both the star and the studio completely lost the plot of what made Snow White special in the first place. The Snow White disaster teaches a simple lesson. When millions of fans say they're going to boycott something, believe them. When audiences beg for politics to be kept out of children's movies, maybe listen. And when a legend like Walt Disney specifically asks for his masterpiece to be left alone, perhaps respect his wishes. The truth is, this film should never have been made. Walt Disney himself shot down multiple sequel ideas for Snow White, believing it was perfect as is. He reportedly once said, "You can't top pigs with pigs," meaning you can't outdo your own success by just copying it. The 2025 disaster proves the old man was right all along. Instead of endless remakes, maybe Disney should try making new stories again, ones that stand on their own without destroying classics. After all, the biggest Disney hits weren't remakes or sequels. They were fresh ideas that blew us away. The Snow White disaster should be a wake-up call that not everything old needs a modern twist, especially when that twist ruins what made the original magical in the first place.